Loyola tax professor Bill Nielsen on the phone. Bill, can you give us your thoughts on this?
I think, first of all, you got to congratulate the attorney for Mr. Williams. He obviously did a great job because he was able to show that there was no willfulness with regard to Mr. Williams and the way his tax returns were prepared. It's interesting to me that they didn't have, today with emails and text messages, they didn't have that with Mr. Williams and the return preparer, and I think that played a big part in this verdict.
And I have to imagine, I wasn't in the courtroom, but when they read the 4 guilty counts for Nicole Nicole Burdett on the separate charges, I mean, Jason Williams' heart must have dropped, thinking, "Oh no, it's going to happen to them too."
Yeah, well, that's true, but Nicole was the one that apparently interacted with the tax preparer, and I think that might have sunk her ship.
Yeah, and these were separate charges from the 10 that both of them were facing together.
Yes, yes, and one was a preparation of his tax returns and one was a preparation of hers.
And for all the time and money spent for the prosecution to because they do look at losses and wins, this is a big loss for the prosecution with Jason Williams, although they can claim at least some victory with the conviction of Nicole Burdett.
Yeah, but that wasn't the focus of this investigation. No. It was Mr. Williams for sure, and maybe they threw Nicole in there, hoping that maybe she pleaded and then would turn on Mr. Williams, which she didn't do. Yeah, it's a loss.
And you've got to wonder if going through her mind, because she's facing prison time now and the loss of her law license, maybe she should have cooperated. I don't know what's going through her head right now.
Yeah, she had excellent counsel for sure.
Sure.
And I just think that they made a trial decision and decided to go with it together. And it worked for Mr. Williams. It didn't work for Nicole.
And how hard is it, and how often does it happen where the government goes before a jury on a tax case like this? Because it's hard to prove these things in court.
Right, and that gets me back to the emails and text messages that were apparently not there between the return preparer and Mr. Williams or Nicole Burdett. If you have your taxes prepared, your CPA or your accountant is going to email you, well, what does this mean? What does that mean? What do you think of this? And usually email them back. They didn't seem to have that in this case, and I think that was a big benefit for Mr. Williams, and I think it was a detriment to Nicole.
Yeah, and are you surprised by what happened in court today?
No, because willfulness is very difficult. It's not an omission of income case. It's a deduction case. And I think it worked well for Mr. Williams by him not having much, if any, interaction with the return preparer.
But not so good for Nicole Burdett.
No.
All right, Bill Nielsen, thank you very much. We appreciate that.